Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and today I'm here to share with you a centerpiece for Labor Day. As summer ends and we celebrate the arrival of school, yes, being a floral school, we really love back to school. It's time for a celebration, and I decided a centerpiece that includes apples for the teacher is the way to go. In addition to the Granny Smith apples, which I must say, these are just the cutest little things. They're tiny. They were selling them for 39 cents a piece at the grocery store. So they don't even sell them by the pound. They're just cute little apples. So I grabbed those. Then for the container, I thought about an apple crate. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a box, but isn't that kind of fun? Then flowers. Of course, I have to have sunflowers. They are the end of summer and autumn. And then I wanted more yellow with the billy balls, spice roses in the orange, some kale to represent the harvest, and they'll be perfect with the apples, and then some wheat, some viburnum berries, some scabiosa pods, and a little bit of grass. Everything you need for a perfect Labor Day centerpiece. To prepare the apples, I'm going to use 6-inch wood picks, and they come with a wire on them, and I don't actually need the wire, so I take that and just cut it off. Remove it. Then taking each apple, determining which is the prettiest side, and then inserting the pick. And if it was a heavier apple, you might want 2 picks to make sure it'll be stable, but for these little baby apples, 1 is going to be enough for most. Just placing it in. Some can go sideways. Others can go up from the bottom. Some can come at an angle. It's really up to you. Take a look at the apple and determine which side looks best, how does the stem look, and then insert the stick. Now, as they dehydrate, they'll come loose from the stick, so you want to use your Oasis Floral adhesive and just dab a bit of glue right at that insertion point on each apple. That way it will lock the stick into place and also seal the wound so that they don't dehydrate as rapidly. As you begin the arrangement, you want to place your heavy items first. So like the apples and the kale, which is also big and heavy. Now the kale, the stem is enormous. So you want to pull off some of these lower leaves. Then when you cut in a strong angle. Get rid of that whole big stump. And then I cut at an angle again, so I create a wedge. And to fluff it out, just reflex each of the leaves. It'll give you a much fuller, prettier piece of kale to work with. And then insert it right down into the foam, making sure it goes in securely. And again, pulling off the lower and then reflexing out. Getting at that wedge, placing it in. Another. I've already reflexed these out so that they are set to go. You don't have to wait for me. And another. Giving it a nice and full look, just with the kale. Then going back, adding in your apples. You can group them. Spot to the opposite side. You come out another to the front. Finding a spot, set it in there. Up through the center. You can see the 2 greens really enhance each other. Now it's time to brighten. Let's add the sunflowers, tucking them in, making sure they get down into the water well so that they'll drink. Then bringing in another. Nestling it against the apples. Coming around to the opposite side. And then up towards the top. And coming in with the roses. Letting them come out, adding a bit of that orange brightness. And grouping a few together so that they get enough impact of the color. Maybe even one more over here, so I have 3 orange coming in on this side. And then bringing some of the orange on over to the opposite, carrying it through. And then the billy balls are so lovely, grouping them, letting them be a little taller because they're more delicate, coming up through the center. Maybe a few more. And then the softening of the scabiosa pods with their brown, so it's not quite as bright, a little bit more muted, adding some texture. And then just turn the arrangement, checking it from all sides to make sure that you've got your mechanics covered and that you've got the color evenly distributed throughout. Last step is to add the delicate things, the berries, the grasses, the grains. So I just break them down because they're so woody, and then just set them right down into the foam, tucking them low into the water. Again, breaking it down, and setting it in, letting it come out a little further. Since it's lightweight, a little more delicate, maybe tucking it in towards the top. Get down in well. Okay. Then the grasses. This is fountain grass, just nice and delicate. Letting it just drape over the top. It'll catch movement if there's a breeze in the air. Give a little bit of lightness. And then maybe a piece coming out towards the back. And then the wheat, which isn't as delicate, so it's not going to wave as much, but it still has a little bit of light movement, grouping it, and then tucking it down in. And then once again, looking at it from the sides, making sure you drop down low enough to break the line of the container. Make sure that all the mechanics are covered so you don't have anything that's going to peek through, marring the beauty of your finished design. Now I'm ready for my Labor Day picnic and my back-to-school celebration. For a little extra fun touch, I have extra apples that I'm going to just add to the table, maybe even one at each place setting. That way, if somebody gets hungry before dinner's ready, they can always stop and have an apple while they're waiting. Now, if you want more inspiration, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you have questions, you can reach us through the website or give us a call at 1-800-819-8089. As you create your own Labor Day centerpiece, take a picture and send it to me. I'd love to see. Use my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. Now it's your turn. Have fun and do something you love.